A friend recently got me Final Fantasy Tactics for Christmas, the remaster with full voice acting and the retranslation. And I've been playing it while the world feels like, well, the way it is, maddening. I'm sitting here painting miniatures with nothing but thin paint and my thoughts. And I'm thinking how timeless a struggle that all is, how relatable it always has been. When I was 12 years old, Final Fantasy Tactics was just cool. The job system, the isometric battlefields, the complexity of it all. It made jumping into tabletop RPGs feel natural years later. Someone please free me from being a forever DM, by the way. At 12, I didn't dissect the story. I just knew things. I knew Dysadarg was a low-life piece of trash. I knew the church was lying and manipulative. I knew Ramza was heroic, and not just because he was the protagonist. I didn't have the language for why I knew these things, but I felt them. Final Fantasy games always reflect real-world conflicts. That's what fantasy does, right? It gives us distance so that we can actually see the problems. But here's the thing. I could never connect with characters like Cloud Strife. Cloud stumbles through trauma, piecing together his identity, reacting to Shinra's evil more than choosing to fight it. Cloud's a great character, but he's not aspirational, to me at least. Ramza is different. Ramza chooses. Every step of the way he chooses. And that's what hits right now. Playing this as an adult in 2026 when everything feels like it's crumbling yet again. Ramza Beoulve is born into privilege. Nobility, the Beowulf name, military training, connections. He could coast through life. He could benefit from the system. And at first he tries to. He wants to believe in the knights, in honor, in the nobility doing what's right. But then he begins to see. He sees his brothers manipulating the war. He sees the church orchestrating atrocities. He sees commoners being crushed under the weight of a system designed to keep them powerless. And he can't unsee that. This is where Ramza's story starts to get you. He doesn't just get angry. He begins to get responsible. There's this moment, maybe you remember it, where he's talking to Delita and he's wrestling with his own inaction. He calls himself a coward. Not because he didn't fight, but because he didn't fight enough. Because he saw injustice and didn't immediately throw his whole self against it. That guilt, that recognition that his silence is complicity. That may shape how many see their own responsibilities in the world. Here's what's brilliant about Final Fantasy Tactics story structure. You have two parallel narratives. Delita's out there playing the Game of Thrones, manipulating his way to power, trying to change evils from the top down. That's the historical narrative, the one that gets written in books, the one people remember. But Ramza's narrative is personal. He's not leading armies. He's not going to be in the history books. The game makes that explicit. But he's doing the work right in front of him. He saves people. He challenges corruption when he encounters it. He builds a found family of people who also refuse to accept injustice. Ogrius, Mustadio, Orlandu, Malaya Dul, people who are also betrayed by the systems they believed in. And this is something to take from Ramza now. You don't have to save the whole world. Save your part of it. You can't fix all the corruption, all the injustice, all the suffering. But you can act with integrity in your sphere. You can refuse to be complicit. You can judge people by their actions, not birth or status. You can extend empathy even to your enemies and try for peace first. But when peace isn't possible, you can still act. What I love about Ramza, something that should be embodied more, is that he always tries to talk first. Almost every battle in that game, Ramza tries to negotiate. He tries to understand. He gives people chances to back down, to choose differently. But he's not naive about it. He isn't a pacifist. When someone like Wigriff or Gafgarian chooses violence, Ramza meets it. But he never leads with violence. He never stops seeing the humanity in people, even his enemies. That's the balance to chase. Having empathy without passivity. Conviction without cruelty. Ramza shows you can be kind and uncompromising in your values. So why does this matter now? Why am I thinking about a video game character from 1997 and 2026? Because I think a lot of us are feeling what Ramza felt. We're watching systems fail people. Again. We're watching injustice happen in real time. Again. And then there's this paralysis that sets in. This feeling of, what can I even do? And Ramza's answer is, do your part in your corner with the people around you. You don't have to be Delita playing politics and moving armies. You can be knightly as Ramza, acting with integrity, building a community with people who share your values, refusing to be complicit in the harm you can prevent. It's not about being a hero in the history books. It's about being someone who, when they look back, can say, I didn't look away, I didn't stay silent, I did what I could with what I had. So yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, a game I love for its job system and tactical battles, turns out it can also be a relevant moral framework to build upon 20 plus years later. Ramza Beoulve teaches the player what being a gallant knight is. Not someone who serves power, someone who serves people, someone who acts when action is required, who speaks when silence would be easier. And honestly, in 2026, I think we could all use a little more of what Ramza is dishing out in our lives. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about while painting this Aydın İtna Marti. Thanks for sitting with me through that.